Today is a very auspicious day, Disappearance Day of Shyamananda Prabhu. He was classmate of Narottam Thakur, whose song we just now sang. First line says, Je anilo prema dhan, karuna prachur. Heno Prabhu kota gelo acharjo Thakur. Where did he, full of compassion, who brought love of Godhead to this world, where did he now go? Acharjo. Acharjo is one. In Shastra it is stated Acharjo is one who knows all the Shastras, the scriptures, and acts accordingly to scriptures, and by his own example he is teaching others. That is Acharjo. So Narottam Thakur is expressing separation grief from Acharjo, who out of complete compassion, actual compassion, brought divine love of Godhead to this world. And then he is also mentioning others like Rup, Sanatan, and Swarup Damodar, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami, others, expressing separation grief from Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami and from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the pain of separation from them is greater than putting your head in fire or dashing on a stone. So he prefers, I will dash my head to the stone or I will put in fire, but I cannot bear the separation grief from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his personal associates, full of compassion. Means this is only physical pain, but that is separation grief, but it is also not this worldly separation grief. It is one kind of ecstasy. In this world, we are living in illusion that we are related, bodily related to this person. He is my brother, son, father, mother, all these relationships which are temporary, and we are having some interest there, selfish interest, because we are in ignorance. That is why we are seeing like that. If we would not be ignorant, we would not see this relationship with those jivas. So because we see and we have separate interest, so when someone goes, gives up body, then we are grieving, mourning, because our selfish desire is obstructed. That is why Krishna told in Gita to Arjuna, you should not mourn for the living or for the dead, because Atma is eternal. This is not real, these body relations, this is all temporary. And one who knows that Atma is eternal, then he will, the one who was born will die one day. And those who will die, they will be born again, unless they are liberated. So the wise person who has knowledge of the reality, he does not mourn for this. We mourn due to illusion and separate desire, our desire. So such mourning is not beneficial, but feeling separation grief from Krishna and his devotees in service attitude, on that transcendental platform in service attitude, that outwardly looks like separation, grief, like pain, but it is one kind of ecstasy, transcendental ecstasy. It is different. This transcendental ecstasy is not in ignorance, it is in perfect knowledge perfect transcendence. In prema, transcendental prema, there are two stages, union and separation. Both are blissful because they are from service attitude and related to Krishna, who is the source of bliss, and his devotees. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also tasted this separation grief from Krishna. And here, contact with that object of service in separation is more intense than in union. That is why more blissful. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to taste that Adiruddha Mahabhav. And here also Narottam Thakur is expressing this sentiment. It is not worldly, illusory, this selfishness, not this thing. It is something different. So, and he's telling, I'm crying because I lost their association. But that association is not in the mood of exploiting, enjoying them, exploiting for selfish interest. No. That relationship with Krishna and with Vaishnavas, when it is correct, it is in service mood. So this separation grief in service mood is blissful, not painful as it is when our selfish desire in relation to some is not fulfilled, it is obstructed. So today is the disappearance day of Shyamananda Prabhu. Our Gurudev wrote his biography. Sri Shyamananda Prabhu was a servant of Subal in Krishna Lila. He was the disciple of Hridayananda or Hriday Chaitanya, a disciple of Gauridas Pandit, who is Subal in Krishna Lila. Yam loka bhuvi kirtayanti Hridayanandasya shishyam priyam Sakhe Shri Subalayam Bhagavata Preshtanu Shishyam Tatha Sashriman Rasikendra Mastaka Manishchite Mama Harnisham Shri Radhapriya Narma Marmasu Ruchim Sampadayam Bhasatam. Shri Shyamananda was known in this world as Hridayananda, as their disciple. He was a follower of Subal Saka and he became the grand disciple of the Lord's dear associate. May he, the crash jewel of the connoisseurs of divine love, appear day and night in my mind, bringing me a fondness for the service of Sri Sri Radha Madhava's confidential joyous pastimes. Subal Saka is one cowherd boy of Krishna who is the leader of all Priya Narma Sakas. Priya Narma Sakas, friends of Krishna, there are different categories. So these Priya Narma Sakas, they are topmost. Why? Because they participate in Krishna's friendship, that lila of grazing cows and playing in the forest and this, but they also assist Krishna in his pastimes with Radharani and Gopis in Madhur Jalila. They assist from Krishna's side. They decorate him, they bring message to the Gopis and to Radharani, and they fan, and so many services they are doing. So Subal Saka is chief amongst them. Like in the Manjari group, Rupa Manjari is topmost. Subal Saka is leader of all these Priya Narma Sakas. So in Gaur Lila, Subal Saka became Gauridas Pandit. His disciple was Hridayananda, and his disciple is Shyamananda Prabhu. Shyamananda Prabhu was born on the full moon day of Chaitra in 1456 in the Shaka era, that is 1535 our counting, in the town of Darenda Bahadurpur, which is near the Kharagpur railway station in Midnapur. His father was Shri Krishna Mandal and his mother Durika. Krishna Mandal's hometown was Dandeshwar, which lies on the banks of the Subarnarika river. The following statement is found in the Gauriya Vaishnava Abhidhan, that is like encyclopedia for Gauriya Vaishnavas. Shri Krishna Mandal, that is father, used to live in a place called Ambua, near Dandeshwar. He formerly lived in Gaura, the part of Bengal which lies on the bank of the Bhagirathi river, that is Ganga, and only later moved to Dandeshwar, just across the present-day border in Orissa. Shyamananda Prabhu's Shripads, that is homes, in the towns of Darenda, Bahadurpur, Raini or Rohini, Gopibalapur and Nrishingapur are very dear to his disciples because he installed deities in these different places. Shyamananda Prabhu was born in the Sadgopa subcaste, which fits in the category of Jala Chala, that is to say, Brahmanas who are permitted to only take water touched by its members, not of any other caste or anything, only from your own. What to speak of food, even water you cannot take from anyone, otherwise you will spoil. Of course, a Vaishnava is beyond the material qualities and may take birth in a family of any race or caste. Anyone who thinks badly of Vaishnavas or judges them on the basis of their race or caste is destined for hell. We get this body according to our karma from previous lives. And one who will become a devotee, he may be born in any family in this world according to his karma, and by devotion to Supreme Lord, which is the inclination of Atma to serve Krishna, he will destroy that prarabdha karma, that karma which already bared fruit in the form of this body. So such devotee who fully surrendered to Krishna, one should not judge him based on which body he was born, because that is already destroyed. You cannot say he's American Vaishnava, he's Slovenian, he's Muslim, he's Brahmin, you cannot say. Already he destroyed. That is fully surrendered. His karma was destroyed. But in the case of personal associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Shyamananda Prabhu or Gadadhar Pandit or like that, they are playing the pastime. They are not born due to their own karma. They have no karma, worldly this. They play the pastime of being born in certain like family. Some Mahaprabhu's associates, they are from high class Brahmins. Some, like Haridas Thakur, is Muslim. Some are Shudras, like this. Raya Ramananda. He's dearmost to Mahaprabhu, but Shudra, born. So we should not judge Vaishnavas based on these things. Then we are in ignorance and therefore we are in hell, we are in suffering. There is this verse from Padma Puran. Arche Vishnu Shiladi Gurushu Naramatir Vaishnava Jati Budir Vishnurva Vaishnavanam Kalimala Matane Padatirtem Buddhi Shri Vishnu Namne Mantre Sakala Kalushahya Shabda Samanya Budir Vishnu Sarveshwaresha Tat Itara Samadhir Yaseva Narakisa. Anyone who considers the deity to be nothing but stone, but here it means real deity, Krishna appearing in the form of deity. Not any statue. That is different thing. the guru to be ordinary human being, of course, bona fide guru, one who is fully surrendered to Krishna. He's fully transcendental. He's not material, because fully engaged in the service of Krishna. Some gurus are nitya siddhas, they appear in this world. Some become, by sadhana, they become perfect, but all have transcendental forms. Or the Vaishnava to be a member of a particular caste or race. He's black man, he's Chinese, he's this, he's tribal. No, even monkey, Hanuman, he can be pure devotee, because devotion is Atma's inclination to serve Krishna. It has nothing to do with body. Who takes the holy water which has washed Vishnu or the Vaishnava's feet and can destroy all the sins of the age of Kali to be ordinary water, who thinks that the name or mantra of Vishnu, which destroys all evils, is the same as any other sound, or who takes Vishnu to be equal to anything other than him, has a hellish nature. Means he is ignorant, he will have to suffer. Means Deity is Krishna himself, Guru is personal associate of Krishna, not ordinary man, not with material body. Vaishnava is also pure devotee, not to be considered based on appearance of body. That is why also those female, they may be personal associates of Krishna appearing in such a form, like Madhavi Devi. She is one gopi in Krishna Lila. She appeared now as Madhavi, one of the dearmost associates of Mahaprabhu. Or those ladies who, due to karma, they were born in a lady body, but if they did bhajan and fully became perfected, means they destroyed all that karma. So now you cannot judge them as ladies and ladies. And they cannot do this acharya work. That is not correct. According to Shastra, Mahaprabhu, it is not correct. And that water which has washed Vishnu's feet, or Vaishnava, that Charanamrita, you will find glories of this in scriptures, that can destroy all evils. And name or mantra of Vishnu, an ordinary sound, that is also not correct. Transcendental sound, or one who thinks any human being or demigods or anyone, they are equal to Vishnu. Some impersonalists, they think like this. That is also incorrect. If you serve any human being, it is serving God. That is not correct. Jive Seva, and Bhagavan says something. It is not correct. If you materially serve some living entity, that is not service to God. But if someone has a realization that Jiva is a servant of God and is serving her in that relation, not as God, but in relation to Krishna, and appropriately for material necessities and for his spiritual necessities, then that will be pleasing to Krishna. That will be one kind of service to Krishna, but not in the sense that everyone is God, so anyone you serve, it will be service to God. That is not proper conception. And further here, one who takes birth in a low-class family is not disqualified from performing devotional service, nor is one who is born in a pure, high-class Brahminical family automatically qualified for such service. Whoever engages in the worship of the Lord is a great person. One who does not worship is rejected. There is no consideration of caste or creed in Krishna bhajan. And you will find in Rupa Goswami's devotional forum 64, there it is mentioned one should not take too many disciples, means out of greed for some benefit. But it means that serving Krishna by accepting disciple to guide them, to engage them in the service of Krishna is one kind of service of Krishna. There it is not mentioned that only male can do this service and female cannot. It is not mentioned by Rupa Goswami, nor by Sanatana Goswami in Hari Bhakti Vilas. If we take some statement from some other Karma Kand scriptures, that is not to be applied in devotional path. Name bhaktas chaturvedi mad bhakta shapachak priya tasmai deyam tato grajyam sacha pujo yatha hyaham. Simply being a knower of the four Vedas does not make someone my devotee. An outcast who is my devotee is dear to me. One should exchange gifts and food, etc. with such a devotee, for he is verily as worshipable as I am. Outcast, born outcast, but he fully surrendered to Krishna, he destroyed all karma and became pure devotee. He is as worshipable as Krishna. And he will purify his family, whole family and himself. But one who may be Brahmin, but not a devotee of Krishna, cannot purify himself nor anyone in his family. Prahlad Maharaj also told. Shyamananda's parents had lost several children in childbirth, and they vowed to surrender their next child to Vishnu if it survived. Having suffered so much grief in the loss of their previous children, they first named Shyamananda as Dukhi, or unhappy, to ward off further distress. Shyamananda's parents, Durika and Sri Krishna Mandal, made their home in Dandeshwar. His father was the best of the Sadgopa caste, of impeccable character. Krishna was everything to him, and Krishna's devotees very dear. We cannot describe the virtues of his parents for fear of increasing the volume of this book. They had previously lived in Darenda, Bahadurpur, and people say that Shyamananda was born there. Though his brothers and sisters had all died in childbirth, nothing could stop him. Even so, his parents brought him up in sadness, and they called him Dukhi. This is from Bhakti Ratnakar. Gurudev is giving evidences from different scriptures. Shyamananda Prabhu's parents performed the appropriate rituals when their time came, such as the first eating of solid food and the cutting of hair. As he grew older, I saw once in our Chandigarh mat, our Gurudev performed this samskara for one child, cutting hair, first cutting hair. So Gurudev did little and then they did, but I saw in one room, maybe 2000 or something. As he grew older, he studied Sanskrit grammar, etc. His parents were overjoyed to see his talents and his religious proclivity. Shyamananda Prabhu listened attentively to devotees when they spoke of Gauranga and Nityananda Prabhu's glories and would repeat them to others constantly. No other topic was interesting to him, so he was speaking about Nitai Gaur. Whenever he listened to the activities of Gaur Nitai or Radha and Krishna, tears would flow in torrents from his eyes. Dukhi served his parents devotedly. This is in relation to Krishna. And they told him to get initiated so that he could fully commit himself to the service of the Lord. Dukhi agreed, and told them that he wished to take Diksha from Hridaya Chaitanya in Ambika Kalna. Guru will reveal our eternal relation with Krishna and engage us in his service, by which all materialistic tendencies will be removed from the heart. That process is called Diksha. This we need to take from bona fide Guru. And initiation, like getting that mantra, this is only first beginning point. Then we have to follow those instructions. Then when we come to the point of unconditional surrender, then that is process is complete. Like in school, you enter, you start learning, then when you get the knowledge, then it is finished. So the point of Diksha is full surrender to Krishna. So going there would also give him the chance to see the Ganges in Ambika Kalna and bath in it. His parents happily gave him permission to go. When Dukhi arrived in Ambika Kalna, this is that is near to Navadip. By train you can go. When Dukhi arrived in Ambika Kalna, he threw himself at the feet of Hridaya Chaitanya, who, upon becoming acquainted with him, happily gave him Krishna mantra, or that is Gopal mantra also. Some say Krishna mantra, some say Gopal mantra. He gave Dukhi the Vaishnava name Krishna Das, and so he was known from then on as Dukhi Krishna Das. Guru will change name to be related to Krishna or his devotees. Though, yes, Hridaya Chaitanya ordered him to go to Vrindavan and take up a life of intense bhajan, worship. Though Dukhi Krishna Das did not like being separated from his Gurudev, following his order, he set off for Braja. Following Gurudev's order is most important than anything. First, following his order, he set off to Braja, first visiting Navadip and other places in Gauramandal, where he sought the blessings of the Vaishnavas. After spending much time on pilgrimage, he finally arrived in Vrindavan, where he became completely absorbed in the worship of Sri Radha Shyamsundar. In Vrindavan, Dukhi Krishna Das studied the Vaishnava scriptures under Sri Jiva Goswami, who was the leading scholar of the Sampradaya at that time. That was after the disappearance of Rupa Sanatana. When Hridaya Chaitanya heard of the enthusiasm with which Dukhi Krishna Das was leading the devotional life in Braja, that is Vrindavan, he wrote a letter to Jiva Goswami in which he said that Jiva Goswami should accept Dukhi Krishna Das as his own disciple. Just as he gave titles to his other prominent students, the Acharya title to Srinivas and Thakur title to Narottam, Jiva Goswami gave the name Shyamananda to Dukhi Krishna Das. The reasoning behind this name was that he brought great joy to Sri Radha Shyamsundar, Shyam Ananda, one who is giving bliss to Shyam Sundar. He brought great joy to Shyama Sundar, and hence he was given the new name Shyamananda in Vrindavan. Seeing his sincere endeavor in devotion, Sri Jiva Goswami taught him devotional scriptures. Bhakti Ratnakar. Jiva Goswami sent Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda Prabhu back to Bengal with the Vaishnava scriptures written by the Goswamis in 1582. That was after they finished their studies. The idea was to spread the teachings found in these books throughout Bengal and Orissa. We have already related the events that took place when Bir Hambir had these books stolen, that we are hearing in Srinivas Acharya. Narottam Thakur went to northern Bengal and Shyamananda Prabhu went to Orissa. The Midnapur district was previously under the rule of the Orissan king. Even though Shyamananda Prabhu was Hriday Chaitanya's initiated disciple, his guru had entrusted him to the care of Jiva Goswami Prabhu. Through the association of Jiva Goswami and service to him, Shyamananda Prabhu developed a taste for serving Radha and Krishna in the conjugal mood. Hriday Chaitanya Prabhu himself was a disciple of Gauridas Pandit, who was one of the 12 Gopalas, Subal Saka. He thus worshipped Gaur Nitai in the mood of friendship. Those who think that Shyamananda Prabhu committed an offense to his initiating spiritual master by abandoning his mood and by serving Krishna in a different mood are wrong. The mood of friendship is contained within the conjugal mood. If a disciple makes further progress in spiritual life, it enhances the reputation of his teacher. These rasas, each devotee thinks his own rasa is the best. He is most satisfied in that, and Krishna is most satisfied with that devotee in that relationship. From subjective standpoint, there is no difference. But from neutral standpoint, one will see in Shantarasa there are certain qualities. Full attachment to Krishna and no any other desires. But they will not actively go to serve Krishna. Krishna will use them in his service like sticks, horns like this, trees, Shantarasa. If you add to these two qualities that seva, service, then it will become Dasyarasa. But those two qualities are also present inside. If you add to Dasya that intimacy, no fear, then it will become friendship relation. But those all qualities there. In Vatsalya Rasa, one is more is added in parental. In Madhurja, all these are there to take care of child. That quality is there. And in Madhurja Rasa, in conjugal mood, all these qualities are present inside, but one extra more. So friendship is also contained there inside. So there is no conflict here. He just went further in these qualities in the service of Krishna, more intense. But from subjective standpoint, anyhow, there is no difference. And it is by the will of Krishna who will get which kind of service, and all services are necessary for Lila. So there is no higher, lower, more important, less important. All are important in Vrindavan. If there is no Jamuna, there are no trees, then that Madhur Jalila also cannot be as Madhur Jalila. All are equally important. All are important. Everyone doing their part. All are required. But if from neutral standpoint, and here Gurudev told that all are included in that Madhur Jarasa. An extraordinary incident which took place in Vrindavan prior to his being ordered by Jiva Goswami to return to Orissa demonstrates how dear Shyamananda Prabhu was to Radharani. One day, Shyamananda Prabhu was sweeping the Rasa Mandal in Vrindavan, absorbed in an ecstatic trance. Suddenly, by Radharani's transcendental mercy, he found her ankle bracelet, Nupur, lying on the ground. In his excitement, he touched the ankle bracelet to his forehead, where it left a mark, which is preserved to this day as the tilak marking of the disciple descendants of Shyamananda Prabhu. It is known as Nupur tilak. He put here out of respect, and the sign was there, so that shape they are using as tilak. How it is possible, we may think. Krishna was doing his lila in this world something more than 5,000 years ago. Shyamananda Prabhu is 400 years back. How he can find Radharani? The point is, Krishna was manifested at that time. 5,000, everyone could see. Not all could recognize, but everyone could see. But now also Krishna is doing his pastimes. Radharani is doing pastime there. But not all can see. But those who are in ecstatic trance, means devotional, that complete absorption, they have that vision, and they can get these articles. They can see. Krishna Lila is always going on there. Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Thakur and Shyamananda Prabhu primarily preached the message of Mahaprabhu through kirtan, singing of songs. The styles that kirtan does not mean only dancing, singing with dancing. Kirtan means anything which is pronounced. Jap is mentally, kirtan is pronounced. So recitation can be called kirtan. Harikatha can also be, that is Path Kirtan, all this. But here it means they were not reading some devotional scriptures like Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or like this, Chaitanya Charitamrita, but those songs which they wrote, but in those songs all philosophy, all divine sentiments, everything is there inside. It is not different from Bhagavatam, not different from Chaitanya Charitamrita, same substance. So they used to preach, means awaken sleeping souls, by singing those songs. In Bengali language it was simple for them to understand, and it touched their heart, awakened. The styles that these three acharyas used respectively were named Manohara Sahi, Garanahati and Reneti, different styles. They would enchant the listeners with their heartfelt singing of kirtan. Unfortunately, these styles of kirtan are no longer extant. But we have these songs, means songs are there, their songs are there, but we are using these tunes, like for Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Thakur, those, some are there still, melodies. As a result of Shyamananda Prabhu's preaching in Orissa, many Muslims also became his disciples. The most important of his innumerable disciples was Rasika Murari or Rasikananda. Rasikananda was the son of Achyutananda, the zamindar, that is landlord of Rohini village. He had another name Murari and was thus most commonly known as Rasik Murari. He was a very powerful preacher and his fame is still widespread throughout the villages of Orissa. We were hearing about Baladev Vidyabhushan some days back. He's in this line from Shyamananda. Rasikananda, then his disciple, Nayanananda, I think, and then Radha Damodar Goswami, and he became Guru of Baladev Vidyabhushan. A list of some of Shyamananda Prabhu's prominent disciples is given in the Bhakti Ratnakara. Shyamananda made disciples all over the place. A person can be purified by hearing their names. Radha Ananda, Purushottam, Manohar, Chintamani, Balabhadra, Jagadishwar, Uddhava, Akrura, Madhuvan, Govinda, Jagannath, Gadadhar, Ananda, and Radha Mohan. Shyamananda was constantly immersed in the joys of Kirtan in the association of these disciples. Poets have described his wonderful pastimes for the pleasure of everyone. They are all pure devotees and they are congregationally, they are chanting and dancing for the satisfaction of Krishna. There is no any other amusement or entertainment, enjoyment, this thing, exclusively for this, from their realized state, their relationship with Krishna. They are singing for him and dancing for him. Another of Shyamananda Prabhu's notable disciple was a yogi named Damodar, whom he converted to Vaishnavism. Narahari Chakravarti has written the following account of that conversion. Shyamananda mercifully flooded the yoga practitioner, that is Ashtanga Yoga, Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga, all these yogas, not Bhakti Yoga, doing asanas and withdrawing senses and meditating on Paramatma, that type of yoga. Shyamananda mercifully flooded the yoga practitioner named Damodar with devotional rasa. Rasa means, one meaning is relationship, one with Krishna, one meaning is that bliss which is derived from serving in that relationship. Both can mean. So both he gave him. He revealed to him his eternal relation with Krishna and gave him service, and by that Damodar yogi got that transcendental bliss, rasa. After becoming his disciple, Damodar constantly cried and chanted the names of Nitai Chaitanya, who could remain untouched by his ecstatic absorption. He danced, crying out, Bhakti is the best of all, from his own experience now. Because before he was yogi, he tasted that thing, but now he understood, yes, this is natural, topmost. After delivering Damodar, Shyamananda continued to travel about, distributing the jewel of devotion to everyone. We have to take initiation from bona fide Guru, who is well established in relation with Krishna and trusted him this service of revealing that relationship and giving service of Krishna to him. Only from such a bona fide Guru, our eternal relation, Atma, to Krishna can be revealed, and we can get proper service of Krishna. Otherwise, it may be on some mental platform or physical platform. That will not be devotion proper. Some are out of greed doing this for worldly benefits. They are not actually serving Krishna. So for these things, so from them you cannot get awakenment of your eternal relation with Krishna. Impossible. By the grace of Krishna you can get, or by the grace of his pure devotee. That relationship can be awakened and we can get the service. Shyamananda Prabhu put on a large festival at Darenda with Rasik Murari and Damodar that is still remembered today by his descendants. When he left the world, Shyamananda Prabhu turned over the service of Sri Govinda at Gopi Ballapur to his dear disciple Rasikananda Dev Goswami. Diti there, Govinda. Shyamananda Prabhu's disciples and their descendants still worship his deity Radha Shyamasundar in Vrindavan. This temple is still one of the principal pilgrimage sites in Vrindavan. There you will find the Radharani herself gave that Shyamasundar deity to Shyamananda Prabhu to worship. It was manifested from her heart, she gave to Shyamasundar, and that is, to our eyes, small size. Later on, Baladev Devushan installed, because he's in his line, he installed the big size deities, those which we are now seeing. In general, the small deities are from Shyamananda, big are the Radha Shyamasundar. This temple is still one of the principal pilgrimage sites in Vrindavan. Shyamananda Prabhu lived the last part of his life in Rishingapur in Orissa, where he continued preaching Vaishnavism. His earthly pastimes came to an end on the first day of the waning moon in the month of Ashar in 1552 of the Shaka era, this is Bengali calendar, which is 1631 our counting. To preserve his holy memory, the branch of the Gauriya Math in Midnapur city was named Shyamananda Gauriya Math. So on today's day, lunar day, Shyamananda Prabhu disappeared from this world. After the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, our Parangurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhav Gosai Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Kumud Shanta Gosai Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Gosai Maharaj, they opened that place, that Gauriya Math in Medinipur, and because that was a place of Shyamananda, that area he was preaching, they gave the name Shyamananda Gauriya Math. Our Gurudev was also staying in that math. He got his Harinam initiation there. And he said, I saw Srila Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Gosai Maharaj there, Shanta Maharaj, or many other Vaishnavas. And now also I'm hearing from Srila Sridhar Maharaj's tape recordings from 82. And in this period now when I'm hearing, Srila Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Maharaj came to visit Srila Sridhar Maharaj for some days. I saw in which room he was staying because the Srila Bhaktinanda Sai Maharaj gave me that same room. When I came there, he gave me that room to rest. Then he told me, this is very special room. All these Vaishnavas, they were staying here. So then I said, then I will not stay here. He said, no, you go here. I did not want to stay there out of respect. So in these days, they are asking Sridhar Maharaj some questions, and he's replying, and in between, Srila Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Maharaj is also supplying some verses to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, what points he should more explain, and like this. Or sometimes Sridhar Maharaj is telling you, Maharaj, now you explain, and he's explaining something in Bengali, and then Sridhar Maharaj is translating into English, very nice. So if someone goes to this Radha Shama Sundar temple in Vrindavan, there you will find near Ditis, there is one cave where Shyamananda Prabhu did bhajan or is doing bhajan. You will go down by the stairs, it is very narrow, and you enter that cave. There you will find two Ditis, one is of Shyamananda Prabhu, one is of his dearmost disciple, Rasikananda Prabhu. And I always say this, I like that signboard there. It is written, keep quiet. Shyamananda Prabhu and Rasikananda Prabhu in bhajan. That is because still now we cannot see with these eyes, but that lila is eternal also. So I am remembering his deity there. I like that place very much, that cave of Shyamananda and Rasikananda. So I bow down to the lotus feet of Shyamananda Prabhu and also Rasikananda Prabhu. I pray for his causeless mercy to bestow service of his lotus feet and also the lotus feet of his object of worship, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Radha Shamsundar. Here she put, one second, she's asking question, Sri Devi Radhika. In Croatian she wrote, so I will translate into English, why it is important to observe and remember disappearance days of Vaishnavas. Today there is no time, so tomorrow I can reply this question with proper what I learned from Gurudev. So I cannot in very fast, I cannot do, so tomorrow I will. But it is very important, most important. Not only appearances, but disappearance also. Tomorrow I will remember what I learned from Gurudev about this.